Hello, good morning. Well, depends on when you're watching this, but right now it is 12:58 a.m. here on the East Coast. I have this is Derek Wayland, Biking Viking here. A little special edition I'm bringing to you tonight by way of the Zwift forum. Something I learned about today that I should have known about, but I didn't know about for some crazy reason. Anyway, a huge shout out to Tony Schneider on the Zwift Riders Forum for cluing me in on this. And we're going to talk today about ZwiftGPS. And as you can see in the upper right hand side of my screen up there, the map looks a little bit different than it normally does in Zwift. Well, this is an external web browser. This is ZwiftGPS. I don't believe it's run by Zwift itself. It's one of those Zwift hacks, I believe. And what it does is it uses your rider data number, your user number, that also anybody who does any races that uses Zwift power, it has that user number associated with your Zwift. It's the same number. So what it does is when you go onto Zwift GPS, it asks you for your username, which is that number inside of the documents Zwift folder. There's a user number in there, and that's the number you use, and that links the GPS data as you ride to this. And then you can also link in, and I will see if I can show this here. So I've got it linked to my Strava account, so it can use my historical Strava data in it. So what I'm going to do is go down here to this little ghost. You can click on the ghost, and I can add a ghost image so I can race against myself. And a lot of people have wanted this, the old blue ghosts, the avatars that we used to ride with before the population of Zwift increased so much. But everybody's always kind of wanted to be able to ride against your past ride, race against yourself. Well, this is kind of close to that. You're basically racing yourself as a blue dot on the map. So it shows your current location. So right now it's got my current location right there in the map. But what it's going to do is because it knows I'm in New York, so I've only done 3 rides right now in New York. So if I click this one right here, it's going to show me the route that I rode based on my Strava historical data, and I can basically ride against myself and just kind of follow the blue dot. So if I go ahead and load that, and I don't know how well this is going to work. I wanted to try to zoom in on the map, but if I click this right here, zoom back in on myself, and I can zoom in, but with my weird mouse pad here, with my wireless keyboard, it's not so great. So if I go ahead and click that, and I say add ghost, we should see the ghost of myself here in a minute. Let me see, I'm going to start pedaling. And I think there was a regroup. I do regroup. I think regroup brings us back together. Close this. I think I'm in there. Yep, there I am. And I'd really love to be able to zoom in for you. Because I can zoom in on with my mouse, but I don't know how to do it on this. See if I can figure it out without goofing it all up. I hate to have to jump off my bike here. I should have tested this out a little bit more. But the bottom line is, if we could zoom in, we could see my dots. Possibly. I'm falling behind my blue dot right now. Where is the zoom? Well, I can see my blue dot there. Move this out of the way. Here, I know I can regroup, so I'm just gonna hop off super quick and roll my mouse in, and then I'm gonna have to catch up to myself. All right. Click on regroup. This is the very first time I've done this, so please forgive me. I was just really anxious to show it and try it. This is the first chance I've had to do it, even though it's 1:05 a.m. now. So there's my blue dot, and it's telling me where to go, so I'm gonna minimize this. Alright, so I'm gonna try to catch up to myself. I do like how the shaded arrow in the front there shows you. Let's see, I better. How the shaded arrow, sorry, I had to do some technical stuff there. How the shaded arrow shows you where the turns are ahead of time. So if you are out in front of yourself a little bit, you know which way you turn. That was one of my concerns about which one I should pick, which route I should pick tonight to show this. Because I did a longer ride last night, but I was doing a lot of turning, so I wanted to do something a little easier with less turning. But it looks like with this little shaded arrow, so long as I don't get too far ahead of myself, I'll know which way to turn on my route. And it looks like I want to go straight to follow my arrow. I think I need to catch up to myself. Didn't really get a proper warm up before I tried this. But anyway, I hope this all kind of makes sense. Like I said, it's been out for a while, from what I understand. Thanks again to Tony Schneider for cluing me in on it. But it's pretty cool how you can show the ghost dot So anyway, I'm the live blue dot, and my ghost is right now ahead of me. Not by much. So I'm hitting it a little harder now, trying to catch up on the hill here. It'd be really cool if it showed you the telemetry from the ghost ride on the screen here as well, so you could see what your current power out, your past power output was compared to what you're doing right now. But anyway, this is kind of a feature that I'd wanted for a while. It's not the blue avatar, the blue ghost, but it's still pretty cool to be able to chase yourself. Anyway, again, it's ZwiftGPS.com, and like I said, you just browse to your Documents folder under Zwift, or not under Zwift, Documents folder. And again, I think right now this only works for PCs and probably Macs, but if you have a mobile device, I don't think it works, because you have to be able to, well, it might work if you know your user number. I guess I don't see why you wouldn't be able to use it now that I think about it. Yeah, like I said, just links to your historical Strava data. And chase your blue dot. Chase your arrow. Wish you could zoom in. I think I'm zoomed in as far as it would allow me to. And you can see now, you can see the tail end of that tail and the circle with the blue dot. Basically where that rider is in front of me is where my virtual self is probably. But it'd be great if, not if, I'll say when we'll be able to see our own ghosts to race against. So my arrow's turning right and my route is going right, so I don't have to change anything. And I imagine if you have a mobile device, right now I have the overlay of the map on my screen directly, but I haven't tested it, but I assume that if you have a mobile device, you could just go to Zwift Power and have that map on your mobile device. Right now with my streaming software, I'm able to overlay everything. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's all I really wanted to show you. Today I'm gonna finish out my ride here, and I'll record the full ride. See if I can keep up with myself. Anyway, ZwiftGPS.com, links with Strava. That's what we're doing right here. I'm riding against my previous New York ride, following the long blue arrow there. Very cool. I like how the arrow is stretched out too, so there was some definite good thought put into this, so you know, like I said, if you get ahead of your avatar, ahead of your previous ride, you at least know which way to turn ahead of time, so you don't get separated from yourself. Like right here, we're going straight, so I'll keep going straight. Right now I'm slightly ahead of myself. Oh, I should have got a little better warm-up. Anyway, a lot of discussion on the forum. Who likes the New York route? There's a lot of people who still love Watopia over everything, and that's totally cool. Everybody's got their opinions, but I love the variety. I like the futuristic spin on it to get some more elevation, like we're doing right now. Having the elevated roads is pretty cool. And still honoring the Central Park portion of it. But yeah, I did a 28 mile ride last night at midnight to 2 a.m. And there was only, 700 to 800 people riding, so there wasn't a lot of traffic, so it was a pretty quiet ride. And I was also riding up into the mountain, which is a little less populated anyway, so it was quite calming ride. This ride isn't quite as calming, even though we only got 700 people. There's still a lot going on in the city. You see the arrow stretches out as you're going faster to give you more of a heads up of your next turn. Anyway, I'm going to do a little more reading up on the this particular feature, because I wanted to give some props out to whoever put the Zwift GPS together, individuals who did it, because I think I'll be using it quite a bit. Like right now, it's making me push myself harder than I think I would be, just because I'm trying to keep up with myself. I don't necessarily want to be riding as hard as I am right now, honestly speaking. Alright. Looks like my avatar turns left. And I am turning left, so I don't have to change anything. Good to go. Bottom line, or not bottom line, I want to throw out a little plug for my YouTube channel. I don't make any money on it. It's not monetized. I don't like advertisements. So I'm not out to make a fortune. I don't think my channel's that exciting. But anyway, if you like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe to my page. I try to at least produce at least one, if not more, videos a week. Either just solely Zwift, or Zwift and Trainer Road combined. I also beta test for Vertigo, and I got a few other rides up and workouts. All depends on how I'm feeling, really. You can see how my old self is just a wee bit ahead. I'll give myself a little I was gonna give a little arrow boost there, but I'll leave it. I must have been pedaling hard going down this road the last time. I'm also getting a little overheated because all my jerseys are in the wash. So I had to wear my mountain bike jersey. It's got no zipper. A little warmer than I usually am. If I get enough comments about how to go about initiating the ZwiftGPS, if it isn't as straightforward, I'm pretty sure there's some step-by-steps on the Zwift Rider forum or on ZwiftGPS itself. I don't remember seeing any though, but I might do a quick 2-minute video on how to link your rider data and your Strava data to it. It's all pretty straightforward and easy. I did it with no instruction, with the exception of finding my rider number, but I already knew that since I'm on Zwift Power. Pretty straightforward. Well, it'll be interesting after this ride is done to compare my 2 Strava activities for this ride. Obviously they should be about the same. Except for some reason I had a little more gas in the tank on my previous ride. Having a hard time keeping up. Although I don't think I did this route at midnight. I think I did it like earlier in the day. Get a little help. Get back up to myself. like I said, just seeing myself in front of me is making me push a little harder. Than I really want to be. See, we're going straight. All right. It's like I'm closing the gap. Definitely feeling it too. Be kind of cool too if you had a friend, if they gave you their rider number. I'm assuming you could pull up their Strava data. Maybe not, because I know you have to log into you'd have to know the username password of their account. So maybe that's not such a great idea, but it'd be pretty cool. I guess you could download it. They could share the route with you and you could ride, I guess, virtually against them if you weren't able to ride at the same time. So that's a thought. Get a little arrow help here again. All right, I finally passed myself. I think this is the ride I was doing when my parents were coming for brunch. So I think that's probably why I was pushing it a little harder on this past ride, because I knew I was going to be pressed for time. Not that you needed to know that, but just explaining it to myself. All right, I'm right up the arrowhead, so I better back off a little bit just to make sure I don't miss the next turn from my former self, past self. Give me a little chance to give my legs a little break. You may have seen it earlier, but there is a regroup button. So you could probably, if you did get too far ahead of yourself, you just hit the regroup button, and then it would just advance in time your previous ride to right where you are, so you could continue the chase instead of getting too far ahead. See, now I'm too far ahead. I can't remember if I turned left or not. I guess you can't turn left there anyway, so good. Well, I'm gonna try the regroup. Sorry about that. I was using my little pad here and it just messed everything up. It shut down my stream. And when I shut down my stream, it loses everything. And basically logs you back in to the ZwiftGPS. So I'm gonna hop off here in a second. Zoom back into myself. So, pardon the pause. Get this fixed. Well, now I've given my past self a chance to catch up a little bit. Well, I didn't hit any buttons on that. I'm not a fan of this keyboard. I think I need an actual mouse pad over here. The fun of being live. I'll try to be hands off from here on out. Oh, except I need to recenter my view here. So there we go. It's a little more difficult for me to deal with this because I've got it overlaid on top of Zwift in my streaming software, so it's not as easy as it normally would be if you were just running it separately. So the little glitches you're seeing aren't related to it or Zwift. It's just my streaming software. And an inadvertent button click as well. Well, if I remember right, I think this past ride was 12 miles. Forgot I had my Zwift mobile companion here. I could have been doing my button clicking there for my power-ups. All right, I'm just riding just to keep ahead and ahead of myself and behind the arrowhead, so I don't miss any turns. But if I had this on the mobile app, I'd probably just hit regroup. So I'd be right with my avatar again and continue pushing a little harder. Let's see, am I going straight? That would be my guess. What I did before. Yep. Let's go straight. Well, if you haven't tried this and you're able to try it and give it a whirl, it's pretty cool. Like I said, I'm sure it's much easier to use when you're not trying to stream at the same time. And I am, yep, left is what I want to do. Okay. Back off here, see which way my avatar turned. Because I can't remember. Left, it looks like. Good. Like I said, it'd be really awesome in that window if it would show you at least your wattage, so you'd know how hard you were pushing it in a certain area, like right here, going up the hill. But then again, I guess that would be a little bit cheating, because if I was really racing, you wouldn't know. So maybe it's better just to chase the dot, as you would in the real world. Except that dot would be a cyclist. Should be getting close to the end here, I think. And we're going straight. I can't remember if I sprinted the last time. Well, I'm feeling it, and it's 1:30 in the morning, so I'm probably not going to sprint. It's a little too busy today. Doing adopt a highway roadside trash cleanup along one of the routes that my local cycling club rides. We have a highway we've adopted, so I was out picking up trash, making it nice. Then I had to drive kids here and there, and had to pick up my daughter from a Halloween party at midnight. So here I am at nearly 2 in the morning. At least I'm getting my ride in. Even though it's going to show up as a Sunday workout instead of a Saturday workout. So I think I started after midnight. Well, actually, I'm positive I started after midnight. Anyway, if you have any, I think I already said it before, but if you have any questions or comments about the setup here, let me know. I'll try to help. Like I said, if you're a member of Zwift Riders, you can do a search for ZwiftGPS. Probably find some info there as well. I posted a quick comment in that section of how I did it for another rider who thought it sounded cool. That might be enough to get you rolling. Yeah, like and subscribe. Get notified of my other rides. I post real world videos of some of my mountain bike and downhill stuff. And I do those Zwift virtual ride workouts or just the rides. And I do trainer road along with Zwift overlaid. And I do Virtugo. So I got a pretty decent variety of content. Granted, you might not be able to watch my entire 1 and 2 hour workouts. It's totally fine. But the power of YouTube allows you to skim through, get the initial goodies. I'm trying to go back through some of my videos now and put timestamps on them in certain areas so people don't have to watch the whole thing or skim themselves and get bored. If I put some timestamps on interesting things, I'm sure that makes it a lot easier for everybody. I can see myself catching up to my live self. I'm gonna give myself a little draft boost right now. I really didn't think I rode more than, I think it said 24 kilometers. Guess I didn't do the math right in my head. But again, on the top right side of my screen is the ZwiftGPS map, not the normal Zwift map. It's overlaid from a website onto my streaming software, so don't be fooled that it's a part of Zwift. It is not. way that it looks slow, it sure looks like Zwift built it, and maybe they did. Maybe it's an external thing, but like I said, I want to look it up. The next time I use it, I'll make sure I give props to whoever laid it out, designed it. It's very cool. Not sprinting this time. See what it shows my previous sprint here in a minute. Not that one, but my historic one that I did probably on this ride I'm riding against right now. $30-day, 6 days ago. I don't know. Yeah, that's right. 1098. So what are the 1098? So I would have been up there pretty good. Well, I think I might have been starting to taper on my other workout because I'm not hitting it very hard right now, and my avatar is still behind me on my previous ride, so I think we're getting close to the end. Maybe it was 15 miles that I did. We'll find out. Well, anyway, like I said, I think we're getting close to the end here, but I appreciate your time and attention, and hope you were as enlightened as I was with this ZwiftGPS external web app that lets you ride against your historical ride data. I like how it recognizes what world you're in, so you're not browsing through a gazillion rides. Like when I started this one, I've only ridden New York 3 times, so there's only 3 rides there. I didn't have to filter through all my gazillion Watopia and other assorted rides, so that was nice. Yeah, I'm definitely tapering. I think we're about done because my avatar, the previous ride, has slowed way down. I don't know if my previous ride avatar will go around, just continue going around, or if it'll stop. We'll find out. I'll just ride until that arrow stops. Unless it completely starts over, then I'm gonna stop anyway. Well, I just hit 15 at that corner, so we'll see if my other avatar stops right there at the 15-mile mark. I guess I could have opened up my Strava account. I tried to, but it was sideways on my iPad, my other iPad, so it's not a big deal. Just might compare my average wattage with my old one once we're all done here. Well, it kind of looks like my avatar has stopped behind me. So I think that must have been the end of my ride. Mile 15. Oh, my internet's terrible in here. Yep, and it disappeared. So that kind of lets you know that we've stopped. And I'm going to just taper a little bit here. Look up my ride data real quick. Oops. Logged me out. Authorization error. Please sign out. Alright, I guess it really doesn't want me to see my previous ride data for Strava. Oh, maybe there it goes. I don't know why it's having issues. Well, anyway, no big deal. Well, that's that. Well, I hope you found this enlightening. And if anybody out there knows of any additional stuff, I'm probably going to explore what else the ZwiftGPS can do. I only imported my Strava and started riding around. It looks like there's some more stuff you can do with it. So I'm going to look into that. Like I said, I'm a little bit limited with what I can do with my streaming software overlay right now. But maybe my next ride I'll put it on the iPad here and see what else I can do with it. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and happy nearly 2 a.m. here on the East Coast. I think I'm ready for bed now. Anyway, Derek Wayland, Biking Viking, with your somewhat quick look at ZwiftGPS integrated into Zwift to allow you to ride with your previous ride data based on Strava. Cool stuff. Anyway, cheers. Have a great day, morning, night, wherever you are. Take care. Derek Wayland, the Biking Viking, signing off.